Why I agreed to come speak to you today is the same reason I fought to come to Lagos to be the Consul General. Hold on, wait. Don't be surprised. You shouldn't be surprised. This place is the heart and soul of the future of Africa. And, wow, it's going to be a really long speech if that happens every time I say something. But I truly believe that the second half of the 21st century will be the African century. And the facts bear that out. By 2050, Nigeria will be the fourth largest country in the world. And what is going to lead that change? It's each and every one of you in this room and all of your friends and peers and colleagues and the inspiration that you make for those people. And that's why I'm here, because I believe deeply that we, the United States of America, need to get that relationship right now. We need to do it properly and correctly today so that we can maintain what I believe is the partnership that we have with Nigeria, where we are the partner of choice for Nigeria's youth. I truly believe that's true. I see it every day as people line up to go for student visas, for tourist visas, business visas, and I wish we could do it faster. I wish we could give more of them. Bear with us, we're still coming out of COVID. I see it every day as I talk to tech entrepreneurs, almost all of whom are somehow connected to the United States. And let me break down a few numbers for you. Last year, about $7.5 billion of foreign direct investment came to the African continent. $4 billion of that came to Nigeria. Hold on. 65% of that came from the United States. So if you're looking at the African continent, it's the US that's making those investments. And it's happening, and I hate to say this because I work in government and I see our colleagues from government, it's happening without government. How does it happen? How does it happen, right? It happens because of you. You go, you study in the United States. You get your degree. When you come back to Nigeria, and you come back, when you come back to Nigeria, you come back. But when you come back, and it may be right when you finish your degree, it might be after you've worked for 10 years for Goldman Sachs, it might be after a 20-year career at Google, you're gonna come back and you're gonna start your own company, right? You're going to create the solutions. Main One, you guys know Main One? Yeah? They just sold to American company Equinix for $360 million. $320 million, sorry. Funke, the CEO of Main One, worked in the United States for 15, 20 years, came back here and founded Main One and worked hard to build up IT infrastructure. She had those American partners and American investors. Those relationships she built as a young kind of executive in the US company was what she brought back with her. So for me, you asked me to define Japa. It means two things. One, I'm going to get to that later because I have a lot of my speech, and Kenise wrote a great speech. But those connections you create, be it by creating your startup here and getting American funding, be it by working with an American researcher to create great intellectual property, be it if you incorporate in Delaware, that's what you bring back to Nigeria to make Nigeria better, to build businesses and create jobs right here today. So, what are we doing about it? I told you that it's sort of happening without government, and that's okay. We're doing 4 things about it, and we do it under this great term, Prosper Africa. Prosper Africa is the US government's way to talk about how we build our trade and investment relationship with the African continent. We're doing it right here in Nigeria. We're trying to build all these 17 different US government agencies that focus on trade and investment in Africa. Push them all together under one umbrella. 4 simple pillars. There's a test at the end. So I'm going to define Japa and Yoruba, and you're going to define the 4 pillars of Prosper Africa. All right. So first, it's really simple. U.S. exports to Africa, right? Helping sell stuff. I'm going to get into that. Second, Nigerian and African exports to the United States, helping you sell us stuff. Third, U.S. investment into Nigeria, helping Americans invest in what's happening right here. Already happening. 1 in every $8 that is invested in Nigeria has come from the United States, and that number is going to go up. And then finally, and this may sound far away for you right now as young business leaders, but it will happen, and it's happening at an increasing pace, you investing in the United States, right? You finding partnerships, buying things, restaurants, companies, businesses, and it happens all the time. And you don't have to buy a hotel. You can buy a small startup that has IP that you want for your company and then bring it in to what you're doing. And we have programs to help you with all 4. So, remember the 4 pillars? Trade, US trade, Nigerian trade, US investment, Nigerian investment. Very simple. So, first one, US trade. Obviously, it's my job as an American government official to help American companies. But I believe deeply, and I've seen it over and over and over again in my career, that those American companies, when they come, they don't just bring stuff, right? They bring expertise, good business practices, training. They bring investment, and almost every good investment I've seen has started with trade. Company comes here, Kellogg, right? They start selling stuff. And they're like, wow, there's actually a really big market in Nigeria, which there is. 1 in 4 Africans, right, in a couple decades. We probably ought to be in this space. And we have this great local partner. Let's create a joint venture. We trust them, they trust us, we work together. That joint venture then leads to investment and on-site production. And all of a sudden, it's not Americans selling stuff from America, it's America producing and investing in Nigeria and selling joint products that are produced here and employing thousands of people. That's what trade leads to. It also leads to you understanding the market, right? We bring in our technology, our software, our equipment that you need to process things here, and you see how it's done, and you apply it, and you create solutions that are Nigerian. So I'm a big believer in trade, not aid. And next one, because I'm going to go through fast, and there's only 4 pillars, so I've already done 1. Number 2, Nigerian trade to the United States. Raise your hand if you've heard of AGOA. Hi, come on, be proud. You're Nigerian. No one's humble here. Come on. Woo! There, all right. AGOA. It's actually something that the U.S. Congress created. It's the African Growth and Opportunities Act. And it's a special trade concession that we give to African countries so that you can export your stuff duty-free to the United States. And there's something like, Kanisa's like an expert on AGOA, so when she's up here, you can ask her, like 800 different categories of things. Nigeria does not utilize AGOA enough. You can sell your clothing, you can sell jewelry, you can sell automobile engines, you can sell citrus, you can sell almonds or cashews, duty-free under AGOA. And I have helped dozens and dozens of companies list on Amazon, work with Whole Foods and major retailers in the United States, Walmart, Trader Joe's, you name them, to purchase high-quality goods and export them duty-free under AGOA. And we have a trade hub that will help you figure out how to overcome those sort of barriers to entry, the things that are scary, right? That government stuff that we do that sometimes gets in the way, but helps protect our consumers. We have a hub that will help you figure out how to overcome those customs and import duties issues, how to find containers, how to market and put your products together. In fact, I have a call tomorrow with a company here that's going to work with another African company to figure out how to help you figure out how to package your products so that they'll be kind of up to the US or European standards. So we're focused on it, and we want to see more of it, because when you are able to sell your stuff, that same mutually beneficial impacts of trade happen. When your products come to the US, that American buyer is like, this is cool. I own a company that does something similar. They look on the back of the product, made in Nigeria. Wow, I didn't know they made that in Nigeria. And then they write you a letter and say, how do you make this stuff? Are you interested in a joint venture? Because we do something similar. Boom, partnership. All right, I'm halfway through. So, is it time for another joke? No, okay, good, because I don't have one. All right, I think I've talked about US investment. There's one that I wanted to talk about specifically, and it's in the tech sector, because it's one I'm really excited about. So obviously, with that $4 billion of foreign direct investment last year, you have a couple of Nigerian unicorns. Does anybody work for our unicorns? Do you know what I mean by unicorn? Okay, it's not the thing that poops rainbows. No, it's a tech startup, right, that's raised over $1 billion. Those companies are, I consider them partly American. They're incorporated in the United States. You know that? Flutterwave, Andela, others. Why are they in the US? Anyone know? Come on. Partnership, yep. And to protect their intellectual property. And to avoid exchange rate and foreign exchange issues, right? So if I'm a venture capitalist, I want to keep my investment in dollars. I don't want to have to stress out. I'm already stressed because I've just invested in some company, and I want to make sure they're doing well. I don't want to have to think, oh gosh, what's going to happen to the naira versus the dollar? This is complicated. So they incorporate in the US, they keep their intellectual property, some of it there, and then they're able to keep the money in the dollars, which is really great for them and for us. So these big investments are happening, but they're also happening right here. I wanted to talk a little bit about Microsoft. This year, Microsoft invested in the African Development Center right here in Lagos. Has anybody been there? Yeah, all right, good. It's a state-of-the-art facility that equips Nigeria's young people with the skills and training that you need to participate in the technology economy. And I went with Kenise the other day to check it out and to check out another company that's supporting Microsoft called Tech Experts. Anybody know about Tech Experts? They employ over 2,500 people, software engineers that they've trained themselves to work and support companies like Microsoft, Google, and others, providing software-level engineering kind of support. And they're training you right here in Lagos. That's a huge model of US investment. Investing not just in buildings and infrastructure and production capacity, but in individuals and talent. Do you hear? I'm circling around Joppa again about talent. All right, I had the last one. Do you remember what it is? No, come on, there's only one other. Talked about US exports, Nigerian exports, US investment into Nigeria, and there you go. All right, you guys are paying attention. Whew, that's good. So this applies both to the Nigerian exports to the US, but also to Nigeria's investment. The US market is massive. With a GDP of $20 trillion and a population of 325 million, that's 100 million more than Nigeria, it has nearly limitless potential. It's a market that is incredibly mature, but constantly open for investment. Right? The United States is a country of immigrants, right? And we value that entrepreneurial spirit of, I can make it happen here. So as part of that, our commercial service here at the Consulate in Lagos has a program called Select USA, where we help companies find the necessary resources to invest and reduce barriers to entry into the US market. Every year we hold a summit in the US for potential investors. We bring you out, we help you get your visas, we help you kind of vet and figure out what the obstacles are, and then come and look at investment opportunities. What are you looking at investing in? What do you want to do? What's your market? They're market focused. And we do that so that African companies can come and talk about the issues that are specific to you before you get there and maximize your participation in the conference. And it leads to hundreds of investments each year, and it's something I would love to see you look at. Because if you can make it in Lagos, you can make it in New York. That's what they used to say about New York, right? If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. If you make it in Lagos, you can make it anywhere. We're really focused this year and in the last few years on women-led businesses and women founders. So we have a special program for select global women in tech to partner women founders and tech startup leaders with mentors in the United States. You probably know some of these folks that have gone through the program already. Inya Dawal, who runs one of the creative tech startups here, and a few others who work with Fortune 500 women leaders to learn about how to mentor one another and support each other in the tech space. And finally, one last thing that I think is super cool on export support. How many of you are trying to bring in stuff that you want to sell from overseas? Right? You want to import things to sell. It's a good business to be in. Good. So the US, our commercial service has a program called the International Buyers Program. Because I'll get real with you for a little bit. Because I'm very optimistic about Nigeria, but there are some obstacles. And one of the issues that Nigeria has is reputational problems. Right? Your 409 boys don't help. They're globally known. I can't tell you how many people were like, oh, are you going to meet that Nigerian prince that offered wanted to marry me and I had to send him some money before I came here? They all wanted to know if I was going to meet that Nigerian prince. I say it in a laughing way, but it creates barriers to business. Because people hear Nigeria and they go, ooh! Right? It's wrong. It's wrong, and you shouldn't have to face that. But it's real. And if we don't talk about problems that are real, then we can't fix them. So what do we do to overcome that? Because it's in our interest to increase that trade for all the reasons I laid out. We want to see you guys trading with the United States. We believe that we should be your number one partner. So how are we trying to help? So we have this program called the International Buyers Program, and we have another program called Networking with the USA. And if you're interested in partnering or importing from the US or selling to the US, come talk to our commercial service about these programs. Essentially what they do is they will vet you here so that when they take you to the US to find partners, you're coming with the US government. When I walk you into an office and say, I'd like you to meet my friend, Tunde, they say, oh, yeah, that's the US Consul General. Trust. It creates that trust, and so you don't have to overcome that barrier as much. So it's something that we recognize and we're trying to fix. And then that trust comes over and over again, right? The more you do business, the more they trust. And trust me, the returns are here. The market is here. It's just a matter of opening the eyes of our partners in the US to the opportunities and opening your eyes, which is why I'm here today, to the opportunities that are there. And let me tell you, they do want to partner with you. They just may not know it yet. But when they meet you, they will. Okay, so I got through the 4 pillars. Any questions? You got them memorized? I just finished by saying how excited I am to be here today and how grateful I am for your commitment to the future of Nigeria. I'm so proud of the partnership we already have, and I really believe that the future is limitless, and I'm so grateful to be here. Thanks.